Laughing Brook. Poetry for sensual consciousness. Between a rock and a hard place, there the stream of life flows, all none the less. New moon, darkness, out in the west again, out in the wild, taunting illusions of shape. Every tree has a face, squirrels laughing at me. Compass needle points in no direction. Voices talking gibberish. Everything, nothing. Until I give in, surrender to the dark, behold the darkness, breathe it in, nowhere to hide, no place to go, no thing to do, no word to say. As pain becomes a tide, on which my tiny nutshell sails, salty riches, fearsomely crushing depths, scary heights, so vast an ocean, so small am I. Yet here I am, and carried by what so fierce I feared. I let myself be cradled. I let myself let go of me. And in the course of everything, up there's a star. I see.
For almost 2 decades, I'm dancing tango now. It's a fantastic dance, but mastering it is not a casual challenge. Many years into my tango life, I took lessons with a really good tango teacher who made me feel my way into the dance. More than once, her way of teaching led me to a point where I felt like a complete idiot, all confused and even forgetting the simplest of moves, like doing an ocho. As I exhaled my embarrassment of not being able to do something as basic as an ocho anymore, to my surprise, she replied with an assured, happy comment. Great! This means you're really learning something new. Mind you, I couldn't share her excitement in that moment and simply felt, to use a Frank Zappa song title, like a dancing fool. Or not even dancing, that was because I couldn't do any moves anymore. To me, it felt like this was going nowhere. Or worse, I was even losing the little I knew. Not exactly a definition of success. That moment passed, I paid for my lesson and came back again. Not all lessons were that rough, but as time went by, I shifted into a way of dancing that was so much more present in my moment, present in my body, and present with whoever I was dancing with. Her lessons deconstructed much of what tango had been for me up to that point, and by doing so, she opened me up for a different way of coming to the dance. This moment of in-between can feel horrible. Being between this old way that no longer works, is gone, and that new way, if such a way should exist at all, as doubt whispers in my ear, is very disorienting, disconcerting, disturbing, distressing, disintegrating, disheartening. There's this term, transmutation, which initially stems from the field of alchemy and means, according to Merriam-Webster, the conversion of one element or nuclide into another. Most famously, the conversion of metal into gold or silver is noted in that context, and normally is commented with the remark how superstitious and unscientific those alchemists were with their naive attempts of trying to pull off something like this. There is, though, a more, shall we say, philosophical side to this idea of transmutation. Whereas a transformation changes the form of something, transmutation changes the essence, the very fabric of which something is being made of. In order to do so, it requires a death. The old character of an element, or in a figurative sense, a person, ceases to exist and something new emerges. Which, by the way, also works for turning metal into gold. Metal has been turned into gold over and over and over again. All you need for it to happen is a supernova. Meaning the super explosion that involves the death of a star with an incredible amount of energy. Which is, by the way, where every ounce of gold on our planet comes from. The ring on your finger, your necklace, your gold tooth. Deceased stars, star corpses, stardust. Life brings this alchemical quality of transmutation to us in 1,001 forms. Like, for example, in the form of a tango lesson or a personal crisis. This moment in between things, no longer being what I was and having no grasp of what or who I will be. This is the classical alchemical moment of transmutation. After death comes resurrection. Me no longer the me I was, but being a changed and possibly expanded version of myself. As for me, those confusing tango lessons have helped making me into the decent tango dancer I am today. And all the many crises I went through have done it in so many ways, making me into who I am as a human being now. They still feel horrible when they come upon me, no matter how smoothly and eloquently I am describing it here. Believe me, once I'm in it, every death feels like the first time. And I'm pissing my pants all over again. I keep learning, though, and I know this may sound all cheesy and maybe preachy, but believe me, as I speak this, I've just so made it through another quite abhorring and extremely painful and dark transmutation. So I keep learning to follow that tiniest of lights in what possibly might be not an abyss that devours me, but a tunnel with the proverbial light that might actually lead me into a new life, even though I find it hard to imagine and almost impossible to believe at the time. I wouldn't call it hope or faith as we normally use the term. I'd rather call it trust. I trust in life and that love carries me. It did and does get me to places in most
New moon, darkness, out in the west again, out in the wild, daunting illusions of shape. Every tree has a face. Squirrels laughing at me. Compass needle points in no direction. Voices talking gibberish. Everything. Nothing. Until I give in, surrender to the dark. Behold the darkness. Breathe it in. Nowhere to hide, no place to go, no thing to do, no words to say. As pain becomes a tide, on which my tiny nutshell sails, salty ridges, fearsomely crushing depths. Scary heights, so vast an ocean, so small am I. Yet here I am, and carried by what so fierce I feared. I let myself be cradled. I let myself let go of me. And in the course of everything, up there's a star I see.
If you're listening to this and life is weighing hard on you, I'm sending you my love and compassion. And maybe leave a comment on my website, laughingbrook.net. I read all those comments. I'm making this podcast for people like you. The remix of this poem was done while I was still in the middle of this crisis I mentioned, and you might hear it. Expression is one way of giving the energy of intense pain a direction. A big thank you to Karin Gal-Osnave for helping me out with playing the Jaws harp for this remix. My name is Laughing Brook. I'm a poet, dancer, mystic, nature coach, and man whisperer. If you like what you've been hearing and would want to support me, please leave a positive rating and a comment on whichever platform you're listening to this podcast. This helps others to become aware of it. Share it with friends. And most of all, come back for the next episode. It's called Through That Darkest Door, and is all about how death can become a truly transformative power in your life. This podcast will continue without any fixed schedule, as life happens and verses come. So please subscribe to be in the loop and check back occasionally for any new poetry. For more info about me and things beyond this podcast, please check out laughingbrook.net. Thank you for listening, and keep on flowing, jumping and bumping with the stream of life.